Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Cannabis Chronicles. For those of you that are new, welcome for the first time. Let's do this.
Let's go ahead and start our Sunday morning off right. Ooh. What you smoking on there, Outlaw?
What's this thing called? Joker.
Joker, huh? Interesting.
Interesting name, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still working on that apple fritter.
That sounds tasty.
Soon, I got 1 week from today, and I can finally dip into my stash. I'm excited.
Yes. Those are the days you wait for.
Oh, it smells so good. I can't wait, man. So, what's going on with all your ladies right now?
Yeah, okay. So the ones at my ma's are like maybe 3 weeks away from being done.
Really?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, three, maybe four. We're gonna see. They're definitely got nice little nugs on them, flowers. Uh, Not nugs. Small,
Yeah.
little nug size, and they're looking good, looking very good.
Nice. And
And
do you
I'm
remember off the top of your head what two strains are over there?
the Gorilla Cookies and Critical 2.0.
Oh, nice, dude. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I was just curious.
No, yeah. So, and I was kind of, as we know, I was kind of in a rush. The one is kind of a little further behind than the other one. So I had to do some things, which was like late stage training. As I said before, I took the top of it and just kind of bent it over. No problem. Didn't seem to stun it at all. Thriving. I mean, that evened out the canopy by doing that. Everything's looking good. A little bit of, and you'll notice I'm gonna put up some pictures on Instagram, and you'll notice that I had, to like spread the light out between the two plants, I had it a little too high.
Sure.
So you'll notice like the leaves, the stems are like this freaking long, and the leaf, the leaves are like stretched.
Stretched out, yeah.
Yeah. So, but the other light's gonna be there in the next couple of days, and from that point on, 2 to 3 plants should be no problem in there.
Nice. Nice. How are the ones at the house?
Great. Those are doing great. I think I got one more. What's the time? Yeah. So light just kicked off. No, light's kicking off in about
Soon.
Yeah, it's kicking off soon. But so yeah, I got a little more talking to do later, and that's gonna be the last time I talk. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
That's it. And then it's just let it roll.
About like it's like in about a week and a half of stretch. A week and a half in the flower.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm gonna let it, tuck it one more time and then leave it alone.
That's awesome, man.
Yes.
That is exciting.
Yeah. And every single thing so far, knock on wood, seems to have no deficiencies. No, let's see. First, no toxicities. And like the minorest, I've noticed like the minorest of like deficiencies here and there, just tiny that most, you know, you wouldn't even really notice it
Sure.
unless you knew what you're looking for until, you know, a couple of days longer maybe. And I just was just like noticing, all right, just a little something, add this, you know, and other than that, just everything seems to be great. All the leaves look great. Nothing looks bad. Nothing looks unhealthy.
That's awesome.
The ladybugs did their thing.
Nice.
And somehow, I don't know how this is happening, but there are no aphids, but there happen to be like 2 or 3 ladybugs just hanging the hell on.
Hey, I don't know, but maybe they still got like some eggs laying around that like you can't see really, but that the ladybugs are just like yummy, yummy, yummy. There's something, that they're eating, but hey, man,
Yeah, maybe eating their dead.
companions.
I don't know what they're doing. I have no idea, but they're in there. They're hanging on.
Hey, man, that's awesome.
But I keep seeing them on the plants. They're like scouting them. They're like checking shit out everywhere. So
Yeah. Well, congratulations on what seems to be like a very successful harvest all around. Autos and the photos seem to be in great shape, dude. That's exciting, man.
well, then comes the hard part. That's the drying and curing. To me, it's not the hard part, the most important part
Yeah. Yeah.
to me.
You know, I
So
I got to tell you real quick. So, like, I'm still in the curing stage of that stuff. I'm getting, like I said,
mhm.
it's a week from today. So today's one official week of curing. So next Sunday, I'll go ahead and dip into it. Um, I've noticed a huge difference though, man, in having a better environment in my drying. The smell, I never got that weird. So sometimes it'll like lose the smell for a little bit. Once in a while, if I earlier when I would cut too early, it'd be like wet. So it'd have that kind of hay smell to it. Um,
Yep.
Not this time. It stinks.
Really,
Like,
that's awesome.
yeah, yeah. It
That's
definitely kept terpene profile like through all of this. So yeah, I'm pretty can't wait, dude. It smells so good, because I'm still, at this point, I'm only doing it like twice a day, popping the jars, getting them rotated, a little bit of airflow into it. But yeah, that's oh God, it smells so good, man. Uh, I'm being patient though. I got other stuff. I don't need to dip into it early. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it.
yeah. I'm always interested in learning different ideas and methods on the drying and curing.
Mhm.
Because to me, I feel it's the most important stage. It's definitely when you can screw up everything,
Yeah.
and it's also when you can, I mean, you do it right, and everything should turn out really well. So I like the conversation we were having with the guy that was, he had basically kind of like a humidor.
Mhm.
Uh, that's just been rolling around in my head ever since, and the idea behind it, intrigues me. I'd like to know more.
Yeah, as far as having like a dedicated little long-term storage curing
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. Is it storage? Is it dry? Is it the curing? Do I leave it out? Is it got to be in jars? Different thoughts behind it, and I think it's interesting. Anybody watching, you got any information on it? You know, drop
Yeah,
us a
let us
comment.
know. Leave a comment down below if what do you
I'm gonna go.
long-term storage in?
Yeah. I'm gonna be trying the Grove bags this next time around.
As
So
well as you have a new toy to demonstrate and give a review
oh
for trimming.
my God. Yeah, I'm gonna be having the old lady hold the camera and we're gonna do the first time. We're gonna do a video of it.
Nice, man. Nice. That's
Maybe
exciting.
who knows? Maybe we'll be on Instagram live or something. Who knows?
Sure.
We'll do for it.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
As well as probably have her record it too. Not a bad idea. Throw it up on the
Yeah,
channel.
yeah, both. Yeah, both. You know. Yep.
Yeah. A couple
Totally
different
agree.
angles.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, speaking of which, I recorded my trim session from the gal that I'm curing up right now. So I've been editing it. I actually had two different look at me all fancy. I had two different camera angles set up. And
Nice.
so one camera died, like the wife's good camera. It just like shut off a few minutes in. So, but it took me 2 hours, man, to turn that up. So in order to make it still like look smooth, I'd like go through and edit it multiple times. But I got it down. It's like a 3-minute video, and it looks smooth, but it's at like, you know,
Yeah.
fast. But you can still see, because sometimes it just wants to like skip over things when you go too quick, you know. So yeah, it was kind of a pain, but whenever I'm done with it, I'll eventually make some sort of little video about that.
So you said it took you 2 hours. How much did you trim in 2 hours?
It was a lot of little stuff. Okay. I'm guessing probably like 2 ounces. You know, it wasn't it, the smoke looks amazing. I knew that was that sick one. I knew she wasn't going to be a yielder because I had to pull her fairly early, you know. But
Yeah. I just wanted to say that just to kind of like,
have
say thank you very much because I'll probably be trimming twice the amount in a quarter of the time.
like 10 minutes for you now.
You, thank you. Are you on this side?
Yep,
Is this the
yep,
side?
yep. That'll be that side. I think so.
But yeah,
Whatever, we'll
so
figure it out. I think they know what we're trying to do.
if I'm doing it the other way, you guys know what's up. I'm
Yeah.
stalling. No.
Yeah. Here's to a great Sunday, man.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah. So I figured I would throw us a little off topic, not planned. Usually we kind of discuss a little bit of what we want to talk about.
Yep. Uh-oh, keeping me on my toes here. What's up, man?
Yeah, yeah. So and it's stuff that I think, we haven't really talked about before. And I don't even think we've really even dipped on it much. Watering, of course, we've talked about that, but some different things about watering. Like, first of all, I wanted to talk about, I'm looking at reverse osmosis
Mm-hmm.
system.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other is after that, I'd like to talk about, in case I forget, I want to mention it.
Yeah.
Like gravity feed, gravity water,
Okay.
gravity feed. I said that right.
Yeah.
So,
Like an auto
so
watering system of some kind.
yeah, of some sort. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
different ways of doing that and such, and and also like bottom watering when we're, you know, on that subject. So,
Sure.
but first, yeah, let's start with the reverse osmosis system. I mean, they obviously, you can see these things in like the high price range. I happened to find one that I thought was pretty reasonable,
Yep.
and it was interesting because it's like you hook it up to the water, and then it's got your water that you're going to be drinking, a thing for that, a spout for that, and then another spout that comes out, and then you're supposed to put like a, a 5 gallon bucket or something, and they call it the wastewater,
Yeah.
which is supposed to be like perfect and excellent for plants or like an aquarium.
Yeah.
So what do you know about it?
Okay. So the reality is, okay, again, every grow is a little different, okay, but I'm gonna just be a little vague here. All right. So 9 out of 10 times that RO water is going to be the absolute best for your plants.
The reverse osmosis wastewater.
No, the actual RO water. Correct. Use the wastewater on the outside plants, not our plants that we are growing.
The actual drinking water is what you're saying will be the best for the plants.
Yes, and the
I
reason
use the wastewater for the aquarium.
Sure, yeah, of course, but no, and the reason is, because that has a basically a 0 parts per million. There's nothing. There's no additional anything in it. So because your plants, just all plants, they can only take up a certain amount of ppm in their water. Okay. Now, if you're using your tap water, whatever you have in there is already eating up X amount of a percentage that the plant can take up. If your tap water is filled with stuff, that could alone be 50% of what the plant is even capable of taking in. It's just too polluted. Okay. RO water. So you have your water that's basically at 0. You add in your nutrients. Your plant is literally getting 100% of that feeding. Okay. So now, there are circumstances where RO water won't work. Okay. I'm not going to go into the specifics of that because, again, every situation's different. I'm going to throw out an example, and people are going to be like, "Well, what about this? And what about this?" So I'm literally all I'm going to say: 9 out of 10 growers, RO water is your best bet. But there is this controversy of the wastewater it causes. Now, whether you are getting RO water at your house or like you're going out and buying it in like big jugs and bringing it back to your house, they are running that filter. So there's wastewater somewhere. And the gas you're using, again, people want to argue about a lot of different things. Okay. But just
no matter what, it is producing a wastewater somewhere. Because my dad has one in his house.
Yeah,
it's down in the basement. It's set up like in the wall or whatever. And I've never really paid attention to it. I just thought, it ran through it and then slowly gave you a little bit of water because it's only a slow little trickle.
Right. Yeah. So think about buying 5 gallons of RO water, how much wastewater that costs. So that's like the argument of like, you're not being, even though you're trying to be green and organic, like you're not using fertile, like
which in his case, he's in a farm. So the water is just going back into the ground.
Right.
In a lot of cases.
Yeah. But again, so 9 out of 10
for most people, I get it.
Yeah, RO water is actually the superior option, but there's cost to it. If you want to do it at home, you got to buy a whole system, and as like you just said, there's a whole wastewater thing that's like, what are you going to do with that? Because it's literally in this 5-gallon bucket. So you use it on your outdoor or something. You just reuse it or something.
The wastewater, I mean, it's not letting out like everything. It's still going through a filter. So I mean,
well, I
get that the RO water is the best, but is that better than your tap water, the wastewater?
No, no,
Okay. Just
no.
curious.
Yeah. No. And I'm saying
Not for
I'm saying that out of
but the
ignorance,
wastewater.
but only because it's not like you're going to be filling it up in one sitting on a house one. I'm not talking about like at the plant, okay? Like the water stores and stuff. I'm talking about it at your house.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you're not filling that up like instantly. So in that case, you know, all the things that it is filtering out, you know, to make that RO water a zero goes into that bucket. So it is sitting there and settling and separating each time, because again, you're not filling it in one shot. You know, it's going to take you potentially a long, if you're just using it for like drinking water, a normal use for an RO. Okay.
Because I mean, it seemed like the system was, yeah, it went through these filters and then it finally went out to the RO water. But the wastewater seemed like the spout was up higher after some of the filters, leaving
Sure.
a lot of the crap inside of the system.
Correct. But the comparison of that versus just like, now again, everyone's tap water is different.
My meaning behind it is like basically it's tap water. So like, can I drink the wastewater?
But but it's concentrated. See, that's the thing. It's because it's taking everything and putting it in a concentrated version. Does that make sense? No.
No, because it's going from the tap through a system, so it's getting filtered. Like I have a jug that I pour it into the thing and it filters in the pitcher, but to me it's filtering, then it's letting some wastewater out. It's calling it wastewater that it's not the RO water, it's the filtered tap water, but then it goes through a little more filter and goes to the RO. So I thought it was somewhat filtered.
It is.
So then why can't I drink it?
I wouldn't. Look into it. I
I'm curious.
I don't not 100% on the human consumption part. I look into using it for plants.
Gotcha. Yeah. I'm just curious because I'm like, well, then it ain't a waste. I give the RO water to the plants and I drink the second best water. But yeah, I mean, if it's not good, of course I don't want to drink it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the RO water for your plants, 9 out of 10 is the best option because again, you're coming in at a zero. So all the nutrients you put in, your plant will take all of it as opposed to already starting off with a small percentage not being used. Does that make sense?
Oh, of course. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
That all makes sense perfectly. My mind is just of course, I'm a cheapskate. So I'm like, well, wait a minute. The wastewater in that 5-gallon bucket, I could throw that through my pitcher and that should filter that real good. And then I got good drinking water.
Like a filter for in your fridge? I don't know.
It's like a pitcher that filters the water.
That's all I don't know.
Yeah.
It might be.
I just figured, then it's like I'll give the RO water to the plants. I take the wastewater, filter that one more time for myself.
Sure.
And then I drink it.
No, that makes sense. But I do your homework. Don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it out, of course. Yeah. And anybody else, again, put a comment if you know what you're talking about, because we are, like we say in the beginning of these all the time.
All right. What was the next question you had? I forgot, man, already.
Oh, we got that one already, didn't we? Let's see. It was like gravity feed, like watering.
Okay, so I'm all about it. Like, I think both of the things were like gravity fed and like bottom watering, right? So I think, and this is all right. This is my humble opinion. Okay, I think 100% it should vary by your location, like by your region. You've heard me complain so much about water conservation. So, and I'm not going to go on a big tirade about it, but that's why I don't, I don't, dude, whatever works for anybody works for you. But that's why, like, for someone out here around me, I don't recommend, like running hydro or anything that's like wasting water out here. Obviously, being in the Midwest, you guys are not short on rain or humidity, right? So it would actually be in my head. And again, I don't live there, so I don't 100% know, but the theory works. It would be fine there because you're not going to be evaporating as much, even on like a closed system. It's so dry here. Like it just pulls it out of everything. So
you have to basically with where you're at, you would want it to basically not just like drip in, you want it more of a flow in, which that was the other thing. It's not always just gravity. And before we get into the bottom feeding, there was like, I kind of seen like a little bit of a video, but my mind was starting to think about like, because I have a pump that I'm trying to get working that I have been telling you about. And I was thinking if that was hooked up to the lines that you're doing to gravity feed, instead of it just gravity feeding, then you're pumping it. So it would happen quicker.
Yeah.
And in, a situation where it's dry, like your climate, then not just gravity feeding, but pumping it and then being on a timer, and it just, and boom, 5 minutes later, it's done.
Correct. But then there's still the evaporation out of that storage tank. And again, this is me in my area. I do not believe in those types. Now, if someone can like has one and it truly doesn't like, I'm just telling you, I've seen people that are like, it's closed. I'm like, how often do you fill it up? They're like every other day. I'm like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Again, I'm just But out there, it's somewhere in the Midwest. You're not going to have
my thoughts
anywhere as much as evaporation. So a system like that would work phenomenal. In my, it would make sense.
And it's also, to me, like for us, it's not something we would need. It's, if you were doing quite a bit, then I would think it'd be something more, needed. But I was just, wanting to bring it up. That's what we do.
Of course. Again, I think, again, everyone do whatever you're comfortable with. If hydro is what then do that. Grow your own. Don't let my little stupid opinion alter anything. But that's just, if I'm trying to help someone start out, I'm always like, for out here, plastic containers, soil. I'm even looking into like working in some like recycled newspaper, trying to figure out how to get the ink out. So if anyone knows of any tricks of that, leave that down below. That would help me out. But I'm trying to get the ink out of old newspapers because the newspaper will help keep moisture in the soil for longer. So I believe your last question was bottom watering or bottom feeding.
Bottom watering. Yeah, bottom watering, bottom feeding.
So I watched a couple of videos on that. It's a little interesting. So, okay, just my 2 cents. I don't think it would work with autos. But I think with photos, as long as you continuously transfer them, I think that would be amazing. I think you could get some amazing roots. But
so what exactly is it?
So,
how do you do it?
Just start it in like a solo cup. All right. So you would make your normal drainage holes on the bottom, right? But then you would go ahead and make some about like an inch up the cup. And you would put it in some sort of like disc, okay, to like hold water. And instead of watering on the top, water, nutrients, the whole 9 yards, you just do it through the bottom. And it'll naturally like wick up through the cup, since we're talking about solo cup.
Okay.
And it promotes the roots to go down for their food and water. Okay. Because there's a whole thing about roots have memory, water has memory, blah 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 blah. Okay, I don't want to get into that, but so that's the whole like concept behind like the bottom feeding, the bottom watering. So, but then you have to do a lot of transferring. But I would guess you could probably go from like a 3 to something bigger, because in theory the roots are trained at that point to go down for the water. Okay. So the roots at that point are already trained to go down. So now don't quote me on this. I would definitely build the soil. He does a whole bunch of like phenomenal videos. He's done some like really good root training stuff on his channel. Definitely go watch that. Don't listen to me. But the idea behind it is, at that point, like when you go solo cup, 1 gallon, and maybe like 1 gallon, 3 gallon, from that 3 gallon, you could jump into something big, whether it's a 5 or a 10, or, you're doing something ridiculous. Because at that point, they're already they've been trained to shoot down. Does that make sense? Instead of all over the place. So, but yeah, you exclusively keep feeding the bottom. So each container, you have to like, about an inch or so higher, add additional holes other than just the bottom, so it can take it in and wick its way up. So that's the idea behind the bottom feeding, bottom water. And people who do it have really good results. I personally have. Sorry,
when you mean the holes an inch above, that's what are those breathing holes then? Because you want those above the water line?
Well, no, because you want it to be able to just like soak in.
Oh, so they'll suck in from there and the bottom.
And the bottom. Yeah, just to help it kind of get it all in. And then apparently, again, don't quote me, it's done when like you pour a little bit in the bottom and it don't drink it up, then you just like pick it up, dump that out, and it's, and if whatever it doesn't want, we'll pull back out. But in general, because it's wicking it up, you're not overwatering either.
And I kind of understand some of the concept behind it, because as I've said before, and I'm sure there's going to be some comments on it, and I know like you have some thoughts on it as well, but I don't
just my opinion.
Have drainage holes in the bottom of my 5-gallon buckets. They're like about this far above. So it just keeps that tiniest bit of water. And early stages of veg, once they get put in there, I'll do to where I let them, get kind of dry for like a day, and then I water full water, and then I do that for a little bit, and then kind of, in my opinion, it's they're going down at that certain that certain day when it's like really dry. They're going down to where there's a little bit of water stored there, and they're getting it. But it's also timing on that. I don't do it right away when I put them in the 5-gallon buckets.
Right.
I wait until the roots are already kind of like headed down there anyway. But it's just a way to, kind of expand them around down there.
Well, I like that you keeping me on my toes, man. I wasn't ready for any of that. Had to like.
Yeah. Huh. The reverse osmosis is, I like my drinking water to be, better than the tap.
Of course.
Period.
Of course. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's funny because I mentioned my dad's, and it's like his his tap water is good already. I mean, it's got a little bit of, iron in it. If you're looking at it in a glass, you can just see a slight little tint, but I mean, it tastes great.
Yeah, that's nice. My tap
But
water.
yeah, mine too. It's horrible. The one here, I'm like, and so like, the old lady brings home, jugs of water from her work, and then,
Mhm.
I have my pitcher that I like, I pour that into, and it's extra filtered, and
I-
I drink it.
So for Christmas, I got the wife one of them water machines with the jugs, you know. It's a bottom load water jug. So you just slide it on the floor. And there's like a
Nice.
tube thing, right? And it's got
Yes.
a Keurig built into it, So
Dude.
there's cold water that's like chilled. There's a reservoir. There's hot water, like just hot water, never use it. But then in the middle, there's the Keurig. So it came with like a refillable thing. And then, yeah, you just pop
Yeah.
the little K cups in there, close it. Dude, like 15
Sweet.
seconds. Boom. Hot, piping
That is
hot,
cool.
all of that. Best
That's
investment
awesome.
ever. A little pricey, but so worth it. Because it's not a top loader either, man. I got those at my work. Oh,
Yeah, I like those. I've kind of looked at those a little bit. Like they make just actually like a little nozzle,
yeah.
simple little nozzle. Like if you don't want to like have the bomb ass thing like dude's got. But yeah, it's just like a little nozzle that goes in and you just, so your jug's just sitting on the floor or whatever.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
But man, what you've got sounds fantastic.
Dude, it's awesome. I'm gonna have to show you one of these days.
Yes, yeah, I
However,
want to see it.
speaking of which, I'm gonna go use it. I need some coffee. I grabbed a little bit of juice this morning, but I'm fading
Yeah.
quick here. Smoking this
All
early.
right,
I need to get some coffee in me, dude. I'm
let's
dying.
close it out then.
Yeah, one last for the road. Thank you everybody for joining in with us this Sunday. Desert Growth Spurt, my man Outlaw Grower. Every Sunday you can find us here as well as Instagram. Same names. I got to cut it off quick. We'll see you guys next Sunday.
Later.